Hi there. My name is Ben, and I'm glad you're taking some time for yourself to meditate. You'll notice that I'm not playing any music in the background. One of the really neat things about doing this online is that I can leave it to you to create whatever environment you prefer while you meditate. So, if you have a certain type of music you'd like to listen to, if you would like a certain level of lighting in the room or a certain scent in the room, feel free to hit pause and set up your space however you like. But also know that you don't really need any of those things either. You can meditate anywhere, anytime, for as little as you like or for as long as you like, in any possible environment. You don't need to keep your eyes closed or sit in a certain way or do anything special. You can just do whatever feels comfortable for you and whatever feels easy for you. Let's get started. Close your eyes, or leave them open if you prefer. Take a deep breath in through your nose, keeping your belly in and filling your lungs up. Fill them all the way up. Then whenever you're ready, completely empty them, breathing out through your mouth. Do this a few more times at your own pace. When you exhale, feel any tension in your body start to melt away. After a few times, you can just breathe normally. Don't worry about how fast or slow your breath is or how deep or shallow. Just let the breath happen the way it wants. As you do that, I'll describe what we're going to do in this session. Meditation is essentially a process of quietening the mind until it reaches a state of pure stillness and awareness without thought. For the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to begin that process by spending some time turning our awareness to the body and then to the breath, and then we'll stop and chat. From here on out, just breathe normally and in a way that's comfortable and easy for you. You can keep your eyes closed, or if that becomes uncomfortable, you can open them and just relax your gaze on the floor. Now turn your awareness to a part of your body that you can feel. Maybe your hands, your feet, anywhere. One specific place in your body. Can you feel life inside of this place? Don't think about it, just observe it. Go to this part of your body. Become aware of the subtle feeling of aliveness inside it. It's there. You just have to go there with your attention and notice it. A feeling of energy or aliveness, your ability to control that part of your body, or your ability to be aware of it. Hold your attention in that place for a bit. We're used to our attention being in our heads because it's where our eyes are, but our consciousness is actually spread out all over our body. Now, allow that awareness, that feeling of aliveness, to spread to an adjacent part of your body. Imagine that your mind is in this place and allow this part to relax as you do so. Now, pick another place in your body and bring your attention there. Can you detect that same aliveness, energy, warmth, or feeling of potential? Let your mind be in this place for a bit and feel it relax. See if you can feel this place and the other parts of your body that you already focused on, all at the same time. Now, expand that awareness so that it starts to grow to other parts of your body. Linger in each part for a moment and feel it relax and become easy and soft. And as you feel that aliveness throughout each part, continue to expand it to include more and more of your body. Even places like your stomach, your chest, your torso, your back and ribs, or your neck, your scalp, your face. Try to feel your whole body as a global sense of aliveness. There may be parts that feel good. There may be parts that don't feel good. And there may be parts that you don't feel at all. All of that is part of awareness. Just observe it. Now we're going to spend some time focusing on our breath. Maybe you'll continue feeling that sense of aliveness throughout your body, or maybe not. But we'll focus on the breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm, making no effort to change or control it in any way. Just notice how your body breathes. Your body knows how much air it needs. Bring your full attention to noticing each in-breath as it enters your nostrils, travels down to your lungs, causes the chest to expand and rise. And notice each out-breath as your chest starts to fall and the air moves up through the throat and back up through the nostrils or mouth. As you turn more deeply inward, begin to let go of anything else. If you're distracted by sounds in the room or thoughts, simply notice them without attaching to them. And bring your attention back to your breath. Notice the sensation of the breath. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Notice the brief moment of stillness when you reach the top of the breath and just before the out-breath starts. And the same moment of stillness when you reach the end of the out-breath before the in-breath starts. I'm going to set a 2-minute timer where you'll sit in silence and continue to focus on your breath. If other thoughts or distractions come, don't resist or judge. It's okay. Let them be, and then return to your breath. And you don't have to do this, but if you find it hard to let go, you might find it helpful to repeat a meaningless word like Om silently in your head before each breath. Or you might find it helpful to count inside your head, starting at 1 at the beginning of each inhale, and then starting at 1 again at the beginning of each exhale. But don't try to control the breath in any way. Just let it be and focus on it. Now you can start to notice the sounds around you. Feel the floor beneath you. Feel your clothes against your body, becoming more aware of the room around you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I'd like to talk a bit about why we meditate. We experience thousands of thoughts per day with little gaps in between. And the space between those thoughts is what meditation is all about. In that little gap between thoughts, you're doing nothing except for existing. Meditation's about increasing the duration of that gap and just being still as much as we can. It's about reaching a state, however briefly, of just pure awareness. No actual thought. And then there's an in-between or a middle state where we're just focusing on one thing, the breath, where we're close to that pure non-thought state. So a common meditation technique is to focus on just one thing, which we call mindfulness. And then from that in-between state, hopefully experience some time in that full meditative state without any thought, even if it's just for a split second at a time. And I think that you'll find that when you spend some time doing that, even for just a minute during a busy day, it's an incredibly peaceful and restorative experience for your mind and your body. Meditation also helps us understand ourselves better by separating who we are from our thoughts. We have this incessant stream of thinking in our heads. Some think of it as a voice in our heads that's processing our thoughts. Or maybe it's not a voice for some people. It's just a stream of images or something. Some people call it the ego. If someone were to ask you to go into yourself and find you, I think generally most of us would find that voice in our heads first. But that's not exactly who you are. Then who are you? You are the background awareness that sees and hears that voice. A wise person once said, "What a liberation to realize that the voice in the head is not who I am." Who am I then? I am the one who sees that. The awareness that is prior to thought, the space in which the thought or the emotion or sense perception happens. So when we meditate, we cultivate a connection to that deeper part of ourselves rather than the voice in our head. And that's really helpful because when we fully identify with that voice in our head, it kind of takes us over. It takes everything seriously, it complains, it starts fights. It's a very practical, but also fairly dysfunctional part of our brains that doesn't do a very good job of enjoying life or dealing with difficult situations. The awareness that we tap into during meditation helps us step back and see that there's more to us than just that voice. And just by being aware of it, we can be a little more free, and it can be easier to accept what is. I want to share another wise quote that kind of ties this all together and how it is that breath meditation allows us to tap into this part of ourselves. The breath is an excellent meditation object precisely because it is not an object. It has no shape or form. Breath is one of the most simple and seemingly insignificant phenomena. Being aware of your breath forces you into the present moment. Whenever you are conscious of the breath, you are absolutely present. You may also notice that you cannot think and be aware of your breathing. Conscious breathing stops your mind, but far from being in a trance or half asleep, you're fully awake and highly alert. You're not falling below thinking, you're rising above it. And if you look more closely, you'll find that those two things, coming fully into the present moment and ceasing thinking without loss of consciousness, are actually one and the same. Now we're going to do a second, shorter meditation before we finish up. It will be about 6 minutes, and I'll let you know when we're done. Let's get started. Again, you can close your eyes or leave them open with a soft gaze on the floor. Start to relax and turn your attention back to your breath. Place your full attention on the breath going in and then out, what it feels like. I'm going to let you just focus on your breath again for a minute. And just like before, don't try to control the breath in any way. Just observe it. And if thoughts come up, let them be, and then turn back to the breath, counting or saying Om silently in your head if it helps. Now, slowly bring your attention to your thoughts. Be aware of what you're thinking, without judgment or agreement or disagreement. Become aware of what you're thinking. Watch as one thought leads to another, and as one thought leaves, another one takes its place. Notice any deeper feelings or emotions that come up. You're not trying to change any of this. Simply observe it and hold it in your awareness. Acknowledge that you're not your thoughts or feelings. You are something deeper than that. Now, bring your attention to who it is that has been watching the body and observing the thoughts. Turn your attention to awareness itself. Become aware of your own awareness, the simple fact of your existence in reality that lets you perceive all of this. The inner spaciousness that holds together all the sensations and feelings and thoughts that make up your experience in this moment. Focus your attention on your own awareness. Notice how calming and peaceful it feels. Know that this is the essential nature of who you are, and just stay in this place of stillness. If you find your mind wandering, just go back to your breath, and that may help return your mind to contemplating pure awareness, the simple fact of your existence. This is the meditative state, and it's okay if you only experience it for brief moments in between getting distracted and then focusing back on the breath and then experiencing the pure meditative state again. That's what this is all about. I'll set the timer for 1 more minute in a silent state, and then we'll finish up. Now, keeping your eyes closed, you can start to notice the sounds in the room around you. Feel the floor beneath you. Feel your clothes against your body. Start to become aware of the room around you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We'll finish with a quick discussion of stress, because the number one reason why people meditate is because they're looking to deal with stress better. The brain has a center that evolved to help us stay alive in the face of a dangerous world full of predators and natural hazards. And it's constantly watching. And when it's triggered, it initiates a stress response. It causes a bunch of hormones to be released. The heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, digestion slows down. We call this the fight or flight response. It's where the body is making sure it can deal with a dangerous situation physiologically. Now, we don't often encounter true danger anymore in modern society, but the stress response still exists. We talked about how we have many, many thoughts per day, and the stress response occurs when one of those thoughts triggers something in our brain that makes it think it's in danger. It might not actually be in any danger, but our body can't necessarily tell the difference between real danger and emotional danger, so it has a similar response. Now, the body is smart and efficient, so if we experience a lot of stress over time, the body starts to say, wait, the stress response keeps happening, and I have to jack the heart rate up to 150 from 50. I have to turn down digestive processes and so on. It would probably be more efficient to just stay closer to that state during normal times. So maybe the heart rate and blood pressure become slightly permanently elevated. Maybe the stomach and metabolism never fully operate at their max. And that's where meditation can come in. By regularly taking the time to slow down and produce the opposite to a state of stress, it helps us pull back down to a healthier state as our normal, rather than being permanently close to that stress state. Some have also suggested that if you believe that the stress response is a positive thing, then while you're experiencing it, your body will actually deal with it better. So when we talked about accepting the present moment, disassociating from the voice in the head, that can actually help your body during a stressful situation. I'll finish with just a few more tips for meditating. You can meditate anytime, on your own. You don't need a script, or even necessarily to close your eyes. You can do it anywhere. All it really involves is remembering to feel the inner aliveness in your body, directing your fully attention to your breath, and then becoming the observer of the mind rather than the content of the thoughts. I do it sometimes when I'm walking or in transit or going for a run or when I'm upset in a situation. Meditation also doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need music or gongs or chimes or chanting or scents or anything really. It's just you and your mind. People do use those kinds of things when they meditate, but I think they are just different strategies to help focus the mind on one thing and then hopefully on nothing. As long as you remember that this is the main goal, you can make meditation as simple or as involved as you want. Thank you.